everybody today, man. This is Suze with Full Court Press. Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a 10-game NBA slate today. We got a bunch of games. They're cramming in a bunch of games today and tomorrow, the last 2 days, I believe, before the All-Star break. I got a couple videos on the All-Star break coming out. We got a dunk contest, a skills challenge, a three-point contest, and then the All-Star game itself. All I'm waiting for is them to do the draft to see what, it's Team LeBron versus Team Kevin Durant this year. So I'm waiting to see who drafts who and all of that because that's the format now. They do it. The team captains get to draft the team for the All-Star game. So I'm just waiting on them to do that so I could get a little more information on that. And then I got that All-Star video coming out for you guys in like a day or two. The first game of today's slate, we got the Indiana Pacers -5 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, and this total is at 217. In this game for the Pacers, we have Karis LeVert and TJ Warren both out today. They're not going to be participating. Jeremy Lamb was downgraded to questionable. The coach was quoted saying Jeremy Lamb would play Wednesday, but has since downgraded him to questionable. Doug McDermott, questionable after losing a tooth to a Ben Simmons elbow, but he should be able to play in today's game, though. He took a hard elbow from Ben Simmons in their last game, lost his tooth, had to leave that game. But the coach was saying he thinks he should be back in this one. For the Cavs, we got Andre Drummond, Larry Nance, Kevin Love, Dellavedova, all still out. Like I was saying, Andre Drummond's probably going to get traded here in the next couple days because the All-Star break does mark the NBA trade deadline, so we'll probably be seeing some news about that. I'll be having videos coming out about that too, because usually around the trade deadline, there's a lot of blockbuster trades, like a lot of stars and three-team trades and shit like that. The Pacers this season are 1-0 versus the Cavs. They were able to get a win on New Year's Day by a score of 119-99. For the Cavs, Sexton dropped 29 points and Garland dropped 21 in that one. And then for the Pacers, Sabonis led the way with 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Let's see here. The Pacers are on a 4-game losing streak right now, while the Cavs are on a 4-game winning streak. So we get the Cavs here on a 4-game win streak at home. We get them plus the 5. I'll take it all day. My pick here is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers plus 5 at home versus the Indiana Pacers in the over 217. The second game of the day, this is a big one, guys. We got the Utah Jazz -3.5, one of the hottest teams in the NBA, versus the Philadelphia 76ers, one of the hottest home teams in the NBA. They're also top 5 in the NBA right now. And this total is 230. On the Jazz side of the ball, Azubuike and Hughes are still out. And then for the 76ers, this one's going to be big. Tobias Harris is questionable with a knee contusion. Doc Rivers says he hopes to get him back for this game against the Jazz. He knows this is a big game. He knows this is one of those games that they got to win. He hopes to get him back. Other than that, the 76ers are fairly healthy. And that knee contusion for Tobias Harris happened about 2 or 3 games ago, so it's not necessarily, is he still hurt? Is it sore? You know what I mean? Is your knee sore? Is it inflamed? Is it swollen? Are you ready to go today? Type shit. So we'll see closer to shoot around if Tobias Harris is actually going to give it a go today. Head-to-head this season, the Jazz are 1-0 versus the Sixers. On February 15th, the Jazz were able to get the win at home over the Sixers, 134-123. In that game, the 76ers were without their star center, Joel Embiid. He didn't play in that one. For the Sixers, Ben Simmons led the way with 42 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, almost getting himself a triple-double. And then Tobias Harris had 36 and 10. So obviously they're going to need Tobias in this one. They didn't have Joel. They're going to have Joel today. But Tobias Harris could easily go for 30, high 20s every night. So he's going to be a big factor if he plays in this one. For the 76ers, it just wasn't enough. Even Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris scoring as much as they did wasn't enough. On a night where the sixth man for the Jazz at the time, Jordan Clarkson, had himself a 40-point night off the bench, shooting 8 for 13 from the three-point line. Donovan Mitchell and Joe Ingles also added 20 apiece. when you have the sixth man on the team scoring 40 points against you, it's really hard to win the game, especially without your star center Joel Embiid. The Utah Jazz almost needed Jordan Clarkson to go off for that 40-point night with the way the rest of the guys were playing on that team to win that game. And how many times is Jordan Clarkson going to go for 40? Maybe 3 or 4 times in the season. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's just not consistent 40 popper, like 30 popper. He might get dubbed a night. I give him 20, 22 points a night, but 40 is just unrealistic. It happens, though. People get hot. These teams are pretty evenly matched. It's looking like a coin flip type of game. We're going to have to see what's happening with Tobias Harris come time for shoot around. When you got 2 great teams matching up like this and you get one of the teams at home and they're plus the points, you always got to take them in these type of games. I'm looking at the 76ers plus the 3.5 at home against the Utah Jazz here. If Tobias Harris does play, that's going to be a big pick for me today. In the under 230. I think this is going to be more of a defensive game. And that outrageous ass score last time they played, it's just not. That's like, let me see, 134 to 123. So that's 257 points. That's just not realistic, man. Their bench player had 40. You got to take that into account. So this third game of the day, we got the Detroit Pistons plus 6.5 versus the Toronto Raptors, totaling 211. I didn't know if this game was actually going to be on the slate today because 2 out of the last 3 games that the Toronto Raptors were scheduled to play, they didn't even have 8 players to play because of COVID and injuries. So the 2 last games were postponed. I wasn't sure if this one was going to actually go, but they're saying that this game is a go today. So I had to go quickly and take some notes on this game before my video because I didn't even have them in there. But the Detroit Pistons plus 6.5 versus Toronto Raptors totaling 211. For the Pistons, Frank Jackson, DeLon Wright, Blake Griffin, Jahlil Okafor, and Killian Hayes all out today. Jeremy Grant is questionable today, most likely to sit out because this is a back-to-back for Detroit. So look at that closer to game time to see if Jeremy Grant's actually going to give it a go today. And then on this other side, we got a bunch of injuries. This whole game is just injury prone. For the Raptors, Patrick McCaw, Malachi Flynn, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam all out today. This is going to be the first matchup between these teams this season. Detroit's on a 3-game losing streak right now. For me, this is an ugly game betting-wise with all the players that are out on both sides. I'm not taking this game today at all, but my lean would be to the Raptors. I don't know if they cover that 6.5, so probably Raptors money line, but I think this game does go over to 211 easily. For this 4th game of the day, we got the Brooklyn Nets minus 10 versus the Houston Rockets, and this total is at 229. For Brooklyn, we have Timothy Cabarrot, Jeff Green, Kevin Durant, and Spencer Dinwiddie all out. For the Rockets, we have Clemens, Exum, Wood, Nwaba, and Kurix out. Eric Gordon and Daniel House are questionable. This Rockets team, they're going to play John Wall and Oladipo today. And this is going to be James Harden first time playing against his old team. I say James Harden goes for 40 tonight. Even with John Wall and Oladipo, I highly doubt that the Rockets can keep this game close. They definitely, Eric Gordon and Daniel House being questionable is real big. They definitely need the 2 of these players today, especially if they think they're even going to keep it close. I highly doubt that happens. Last 10 games, the Nets are 9-1. They're on a run right now, and the Rockets are 0-10 in the last 10 games, and they've lost 12 in a row. You got one super hot team, you got one super cold team. I think, fluke-ass shit does happen. But I think here, betting-wise, it's Brooklyn or nothing for me. My pick here, I think the Brooklyn Nets get this done on the road by double digits. I think they take that minus 10. I'll take that comfortably. And then I think this goes in the over 229. The over train with the Brooklyn Nets, and then you got a Rockets team that's horrible. I like it. The Brooklyn Nets could put up a lot of points in a small amount of time. That over is too small. Or the total. 5th game of the day, we have Atlanta Hawks minus 3 versus the Orlando Magic, and this total is 219.5. For the Hawks, we got Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, and Chris Dunn are out. For the Magic, we got James Ennis, Cole Anthony, Aaron Gordon, Markelle Fultz, and Jonathan Isaac all out today. This is the first time these interconference teams will match up. They're both Eastern Conference teams. So when these teams play each other, it's interconference. All these games mean a little more because this might be a team that you're playing in the playoffs. So this being their first meeting, I look for this one to be a little exciting. The Magic are badly injured right now and on a 4-game losing streak. The Hawks are coming off a win, but they ain't looked too impressive all season. This one's an ugly game. I'm not going to bet this one, but my lean here would be to the Atlanta Hawks -3 on the road versus the Orlando Magic, and then to take it under 219.5. The 6th game of the day, we got the Charlotte Hornets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. This total is 233. We got Devontae Graham and Grant Riller out for the Hornets. Gordon Hayward was questionable yesterday, but he's since been upgraded to probable, so it's looking like Gordon Hayward's going to play in this one. And then Cody Zeller's questionable. We'll see what happens around game time, or shoot around, see if he's actually going to play. For the Timberwolves, Malik Beasley's out on suspension, and then D'Angelo Russell been out for a while. So they're going to be without those two guys today. Head-to-head this season, the Hornets are 1-0 versus the Timberwolves. On February 12th, the Hornets were able to get the win at home versus the T-Wolves, 120-114. In that game, Malik Beasley led the Timberwolves with 31 points, followed by 21 from Anthony Edwards and 25 from Karl Anthony Towns. But it still wasn't enough to beat Charlotte at home, especially in this game, man. Scary Terry Rozier dropped 41 on 6 of 10 shooting from the 3. And then LaMelo Ball also added in a double-double with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Scary Terry had him a night, man. He had him a night. They won by 6 at home in that first meeting. The Timberwolves right now are on an 8-game losing streak, going 1-9 in the last 10 games. They're doing bad, man. They lost 2 of their most prolific scorers on their team. And they're playing with a rookie point guard, and Karl Anthony Towns he's not the same 30 and 15 Karl Anthony Towns we're used to seeing. Both sides are pretty injured. This one could go either way. There's 10 games today. I think I could find better value elsewhere. My lean would be to the Charlotte Hornets -3 on the road, especially if Gordon Hayward coming back. Charlotte Hornets -3 on the road versus the Timberwolves, and then I take that under 233. So many injuries, I don't think they end up scoring that many points tonight. The 7th game of the day, we got the Chicago Bulls +5.5 versus the New Orleans Pelicans, and this total is at 236.5. For the Bulls, it's the same guys out as usual. Hutchinson, Markkanen, Porter, and Mokaka. They're all out today. For the Pelicans, there's no injuries even listed. They're looking fully healthy. Head-to-head this season, the Chicago Bulls are 1-0 versus the New Orleans Pelicans. I bet on this game that day, and the Pelicans let me down. I remember it wasn't so much the Pelicans letting you down, no. It was, and I'm about to tell you about it right here, but it was Zach LaVine and Kobe White. They had them a night, man. On February 20th, the Bulls were able to get the win against the Pelicans, 129-116. For the Pelicans, Zion Williams led the team with 29 points, and Ingram and Ball, Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball both added 21 points each. For the Bulls, LaVine had a lights out shooting night with 46 points on 9 of 14 shooting from the 3-point line. Disgusting. This boy, first quarter, I think he had 20-something points, and ended with 46. Kobe White added 30 points, shooting 8 for 17 from the 3. The Bulls team was fired up out the gate, and they never let up, man. They were up the whole entire game. The first quarter, they just came out smashing in that spot. Both of these teams this season are on a decline. Neither team's playing up to their potential. The Pelicans should be able to win this one easily at home, but like I just said, I took them last time. I think they only had to win by 4 or something, and they came into Chicago and just let Zach LaVine and Kobe White basically do whatever they wanted to do, and they weren't able to stop it. Since then, I haven't really that game, and then like maybe another game or two where the Pelicans let me down. This is just a no-bet team for me right now, and I can't bet for Chicago either. My lean here would be to the Pelicans -5.5 in the over 236.5. But like I said, I'm just not too much confidence in that game today. I don't really. The Pelicans got to show me something, man, for me to be able to bet on them again. The 8th game of the day, we got Oklahoma City Thunder +4 versus the Dallas Mavericks, and this total is 221. For the Thunder, we got Darius Miller, Hamidou Diallo, George Hill, and Trevor Ariza all out today. For the Mavericks, we got Willie Cauley-Stein out, and Luka Doncic he was questionable last night, but since has been downgraded to doubtful with a back injury. So I don't think he's going to be playing today. This will be the first meeting between these Western Conference teams. The Mavericks are going to be without Luka today, so my interest for this game without Luka just turns this game into a coin flip. I don't really got to pick or lean for this game. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Mavericks with no Luka. I'm going to just stay away altogether. I'm not going to try to guess how it's going to go. 9th game of the day, we have the Golden State Warriors -1 versus the Portland Trailblazers. This total is 233. For the Warriors, we got Marquise Chris, Smilejic, and Klay Thompson all out still. Kelly Oubre questionable today. That's going to be a big one. We're going to want to look at the injury report like an hour before the game, just to see if Kelly Oubre is going to be playing today, because he is a key factor and plays a key role defensively, and sometimes offensively for the Warriors, which we're going to need tonight, especially against the Blazers. The Blazers, Giles, McCollum, Nurkic, and Collins all out today. Head-to-head this season, the series is tied 1-1 between the Warriors and the Blazers. On January 1st and 3rd, these teams faced off in two home games for the Warriors in 3 days. In the first matchup, the Blazers won 123-98, winning by 25 points. Lillard had 34. McCollum was healthy at the time. He had 28. For the Warriors, the only player to drop 20 or more was Stephen Curry in that game with 26 points. 2 days later, the Warriors were able to get revenge at home, 137-122. In the second matchup, Lillard led the Blazers with 32. McCollum added 28 and 9 rebounds. Stephen Curry exploded in that second matchup with 62 points, dropping 18 field goals, and 8 of them being three-pointers. He just completely went off. He was mad about the first game, losing at home, came back 2 days later, and basically single-handedly dropped off the Blazers. He had 62. Both the Warriors and the Blazers are 6-4 in their last 10 games. This game's going to be an exciting one to watch for me. The spread's too close. No bet for me on this one. My lean would be to the Warriors -1 versus the Blazers in the over 233. But the Golden State Warriors is my personal favorite team. I'm born and raised San Francisco. But like I said, it's kind of tricky for me trying to bet on a team that I'm a fan of, because it typically doesn't go in your favor when you bet like that. So I'm going to just stay away from that game. I will be watching that game, though. That's going to be an exciting game, man. And the last game of the day, we got the Los Angeles Lakers +3.5 versus the Sacramento Kings, and this total is 224. For the Lakers, LeBron James, Caruso, Marc Gasol, Kuzma, Anthony Davis, and Kostas Antetokounmpo out. This Lakers team is going to be without LeBron, without Anthony Davis, Kuzma, Gasol, and Caruso today. Yeah, that's shitty. And the spread is still this low. It's crazy. They're without James and Davis, facing a hungry Sacramento Kings team. My pick here, and before it was a lean, but now that I'm looking at it, as I'm reading in the video, I don't got to lean on this no more. I got to pick. My pick here is the Sacramento Kings -3.5 at home versus the LA Lakers in the under 224. The Lakers just missing too much. I highly doubt they come in here and lose by less than 4 like that. The Sacramento Kings team been balling. I think that's kind of disrespectful, honestly, that spread. But that's it for the games today. I got a couple best bets. I got an underdog of the day, or 2 of them, and then I got a little lucky parlay. Excuse me. My first best bet of the day is going to be the Cavaliers +5 versus the Pacers. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sabonis is questionable for the Pacers today. They haven't really looked that impressive lately. The Cavs have. They keep getting disrespected, and I get it. They're the underdogs because they're missing Drummond and all these other guys. But they still have guys that come out and ball every day. They got Jared Allen, Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Dean Wade, Chetty Osman. You know, they got some ballers over there, man, and they've been surprising a lot of teams lately. I'm going to take the Cavs +5 versus the Pacers. I like them with the points at home. And then the second best bet of the day, I got the Brooklyn Nets -10 over the Rockets. I just think it's sort of revenge narrative for James Harden. It's his first time going back and playing against his former team. They just retired number 13 as a Rocket. I think this has all the makings for James Harden to come out here and show us James Harden. You know what I mean? 40, 50 points tonight. And I think they win by 10 easily versus the Rockets that just they lost the last 12 games straight. They just don't got it. Ever since their injuries and they're making all these trades and shit, they're not a unit right now. And Brooklyn turned that corner. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games. I think they get this win easily by 10. And then my third and best bet of the day is going to be the Kings -3.5 versus the Lakers. I think the Lakers here are just way too injured, and I think this spread is too low for who's actually going to be out on that court today. So I think Kings -3.5 versus the Lakers. I got two underdogs of the day today. I like the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat the Pacers outright, so take the Cleveland Cavaliers money line. And then I like the Philadelphia 76ers to beat the Utah Jazz tonight if Tobias Harris plays. So there's an asterisk on this second underdog of the day. Right, maybe like 2 hours, an hour before game time, you want to go to RotoWorld, RotoWire.com, whatever you use for your injury report, and go check on Tobias Harris and see what's going on with him. That's this second underdog, the Philadelphia Sixers to beat the Jazz, is contingent on if Tobias Harris plays or not. So just keep that in mind. And then if you want to just put in a parlay, I put in a lucky parlay every day. You never know. You get lucky, man. Throw $10 on there, throw 6, 7 teams, and try to hit for a couple hundred. I got a little parlay here. It's going to be Cavs. I'm going to just run through this real quick, not really explain, but just give you guys my picks. Cavs +5 versus the Pacers, 76ers +3.5 versus the Jazz. I got the Nets -10 versus the Rockets. I got the Hawks -3 versus the Magic. I got the Hornets -3 versus the Wolves, the T-Wolves. I got Pelicans -5.5 versus the Bulls. I got Golden State Warriors -1 versus the Blazers. And then I got the Kings -3.5 versus the Lakers. And that's going to be it for me, you guys. Like I said, I'll be having all-star videos and trade videos and all that type of good stuff within the next couple of days because that's when that'll all be transpiring. Thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know who you guys are taking today. Let me know, anything, man. Just drop a comment, subscribe, like. Go follow me on Instagram at Full Court Press Clothing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Good luck. And let's all win some money today, man.